Can we be real? Can we talk about the great things and the not so great things in one video? That's what we're going to accomplish here when we're talking about living in Naples, Florida. We're going to go over the pros, cons, the great and the not so great. Now you're considering a move to Naples, or maybe you already live in Naples and you just want to know somebody else's take on it, and we're going to explore that. So let's talk about pro number one, and that is beaches. So the beaches here in Naples, Florida are some of the best in all of the United States. We have this beautiful white powdery sand. We have over 30 miles of beaches, and we're on the Gulf of Mexico, so relatively calm surf and warm waters. It really is absolutely amazing to experience the beaches here in Naples. And so if beach going is your thing, you're going to like living in Naples from that perspective. And we also have the luxury that we're on the west coast of Florida, so our Gulf of Mexico view out west is looking at the sunset. And so that is just, extraordinary thing to be able to see the sunset over the Gulf of Mexico while you're enjoying the beach. That's a huge pro. For con number one, we're going to talk about that. So a lot of people do come to Naples, especially in our high season months, which is January, February, March, April. And sure, we get some at the end of the year who are considered our snowbirds. So these are people who escape the cold weather of the north and come to Florida, sunny Southwest Florida, to be able to enjoy the warmer weather that we have in the winter months. What happens though is that they cause a lot of challenges when it comes to traffic, and so our infrastructure gets, I don't know about overwhelmed, but certainly inundated, and it just turns into a lot of traffic. We only have one highway that's north and south, that's called I-75, and then we have US 41, which is sort of your business highway, if you will, business district, but that's sort of it. We don't have here in Naples, we don't have a highway system that circles the entire city or county. It's really just a north and south highway, and then we have a bunch of east-west, north-south, other ancillary roads and stoplights. And so you can imagine that traffic can be a bit of a problem, especially around, tea time in the morning, restaurant reservation in the evening, when people get off work as well. So these are challenging times of day, especially during our high season. All right, now let's move on to pro number two. This actually has a lot to do with what we just talked about, and that is the weather. So the weather here in Naples is outstanding for portions of the year, and it's bearable for other portions of the year. Some people will debate me on that, but here's the deal. People come to Southwest Florida a lot of times because we experience 300 days of sunshine in Florida, and that is why we're called the Sunshine State. So as part of that, in the winter months, again, average temperatures are in the high 70s, low 80s. Lows, occasionally they'll get down into the 40s. You might see an upper 30s, but that's unusual. Things never tend to freeze ever here. And so it really just becomes really amazing, especially in the winter months. Now, here's the deal. Talking about weather. So our summer months, those are hotter, right? Thank God for the modern convenience of air conditioning. A lot of people choose to spend a lot more time indoors in the summer months because we have the heat and humidity that you can expect. But here's the deal. It really only gets to the mid to upper 90s in Southwest Florida, in Naples here. Yes, the humidity can be quite high, but we typically have a thunderstorm in the afternoon that cools things off. Certainly doesn't help with the humidity, but it can help cool things down so that our summer evenings are not quite so hot. You're not going to experience the 120 degrees that Phoenix does of that kind of heat, but the heat with the humidity together, that can make things for a little bit warm. Now they say your blood does thin over time as you live in the area. I don't know if that's scientifically true or not, but what I can tell you is I have no problem going out and playing a round of golf in the middle of July. Sure, I'll sweat some, but it's not unbearable. We can certainly do that. We sort of treat our summers here like people do their winters up north, and so we're inside a little bit more often. Now that being said, our next con is actually still part of the pro, and we're talking about weather here still as a con. So we talked about the heat and humidity. That can be a con for some people in the summer months. But the one big con is that, yep, we're in Florida. We have hurricanes. So hurricanes are not very fun. The good news is that our homes are typically built for wind. And so, if you've got a concrete block structure that's built really after 2006, then you have most of the newest hurricane codes in your home. If you have a home older than that, then you may not, but typically, the homes hold up very well here. That doesn't mean that we enjoy hurricanes, and especially if there's any kind of a storm surge that comes with it, because if you're in a flood zone, if you're in those beach areas, that could be a real potential issue if we see storm surge that comes through with a hurricane. Now, again, beautiful thing about hurricanes is that we have a lot of warning about them. We're not going to be able to escape weather anywhere we live. I came from the Midwest. We had tornadoes that would pop out of nowhere. We had hailstorms. The other places have earthquakes and fires like that. Mother Nature will do Mother Nature's thing. At least we have the science and technology to be able to predict the path. Maybe not always accurately, but it gives us ample warning to be able to prepare for storms, so we can do storm shutters and different things and make sure that we have everything we need to be able to hunker down for a storm. All right, let's talk about pro number 3 here. We are talking about lifestyle. Lifestyle in Naples is one of the primary drivers that people move to this area. And yes, you can be outdoors like we talked about. There are all kinds of outdoor sports that are at our disposal. We have golf, we've got tennis, we have pickleball, we have bocce ball, we have kayaking, all kinds of different things that we can do outdoors, which really adds to happiness and overall lifestyle. And so with that, there's also beautiful restaurants, we have parks, some of the best dining, shopping. There's a great culture scene, art scene. I'll put it this way. Naples is a place where you can relax. Like, just enjoy life, be outdoors, go on 5th Avenue South, stroll 3rd Street, and just enjoy the people. And you'll see most people are generally pretty darn happy. All right, so next on our list, this is a con for... I think most people don't enjoy this, and so we're going to talk about it, and it's critters. Florida is a place where there are all kinds of critters that grow, that exist. We've got alligators, we have snakes, we have these palmetto bugs that are like giant cockroaches, we have different rats, we have, there's all kinds of things. There's bears, panthers, there are coyotes here. I mean, it's just like almost everything. We don't have polar bears, so that's good. But we have so many different types of wildlife, which is kind of a pro and a con. But if you don't like those types of things, that's a bit of a challenge. Mosquitoes can be an issue more in the summertime. And then we have these little darn bugs near the beach that are called no-see-ums. They're like little sand fleas. They're tiny little bugs that they bite and they hurt. And so that, again, happens more in the summer months, but just not so much fun with all those critters. So luckily we do a lot of spraying for different types of bugs here. If that bothers you, then maybe Naples isn't the right place for you. Okay, pro number 4. This is an interesting one. We had talked a little bit about this during lifestyle, but health and happiness is a pro about living in Naples, Florida. Now, for many years, Naples has been at the top of the list of a Gallup poll for the #1 city in America where people are healthy and happy, the happiness scale. And so why is that? Well, I think that a lot of that has to do with sunshine, vitamin D, get that, amazing energy that comes from all of that. But also a lot of people who live in Naples are, it's a retirement age and life is okay, right? And hanging out with friends and not having to deal with the stressors that maybe you did when you were, trying to make something for yourself. And so, beautiful food, people, and generally people are very nice in Naples. Like, you can get rude people everywhere in the world, but generally speaking, very nice and friendly people that we're coming across day in and day out when we're, on the streets of Naples. So our con here is a big one, and this is affordability. So if you are moving to Naples, you're considering to move to Naples, you want to know about the cost of living. Now, I did a full video about the cost of living in Naples that you're going to want to take a look at here because that's going to really break down everything for us. But what you need to know for the sake of this video is that it is relatively expensive to live in Naples compared to many other parts of the country, and you should sort of expect that, right? So the cost of real estate is more. The median price of a single family home is over $800,000. The groceries cost a bit more. Interestingly, utilities are a bit less, but affordability in general is a bit of a challenge in Naples if it's something where you're trying to just make it, right? It is, there's not a ton of industry in Naples. We do have a couple of great companies that are based out of Naples, but in general, things like tourism and real estate and medical are the three primary drivers for the economy, the local economy here. So if you're outside of that, trying to come to Naples to search for a job and don't have one that you're getting transferred for, that could be a little bit of a challenge, but affordability is something that you'll definitely want to consider. All right, my next pro is one that you might find a bit controversial, and I'm okay with that, but it is taxes. So how can taxes be a pro? You might ask that question. I know that I would ask that question, but the reality is that the state of Florida, this isn't just a Naples thing, but the state of Florida has no state income tax, which is fantastic, especially if you're coming from places like California or New York. That's a huge thing. We've seen some very wealthy individuals. Jeff Bezos moved to Miami, and he's saving a bunch of money compared to what he was paying. I think he was coming from Seattle. But we also have a few other things. So number one, the sales tax is relatively low, around 6% sales tax. We also don't tax on our groceries. So if you're buying bananas and that's 69 cents a pound, well, you're paying 69 cents a pound. That's just what that is. They don't add sales tax on top of that. Couple that with the fact that we have some really great incentives for homesteading. So making Florida your primary residence. If you own real estate here, there are some key advantages there where you can get $50,000 off of the appraised value of your property, so you get a lower real estate tax. And again, we have lower real estate taxes than a lot of other parts of the country, so that's great, number one. And it also protects you from increases in that appraised value so that you're capped at you can't go above 3% per year appreciation according to the appraised value from the county appraiser. So that's really helpful from that perspective. So there are some major tax advantages of living here in Naples that you'll certainly want to consider. So if this list has convinced you that Naples is possibly a good place for you to move, I would be honored. Me and my team would be honored to help you in that search. So please do me a favor, reach out to us at the link below in the comments, and make sure to like the video. Have a blessed day. Thanks so much.